Hey guys, this is Anime Ballsy here, and today we are going to be doing the fourth part of What If Goku Was Reborn with all of his memories. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
18 is grabbed by Nappa, who then receives numerous punches from Gohan. She can't do anything to evade the attacks, then Piccolo launches his special beam cannon. He has learned to charge it much more quickly, and with more training his attack is even more powerful. The attack pierces through her torso and blood spews out from the wound. Blood then comes out her mouth as she coughs, but 17 is there to save her. The two androids fly off into the distance and 16 follows them. His mission is to destroy Goku, not to fight these warriors. Therefore he doesn't engage in battle and then retreats when he sees 17 and 18 doing so. Across the planet in the Capsule Corp, Goku is strung up to several databases and systems through wiring. Bulma is using her technology to analyze the defects that he now has and is struggling to find out what the problem is. This virus that he has attained is very complex, and creating the cure for this virus will certainly be a task. She also has her father working non-stop alongside her to try and find this cure. The androids cower away and Piccolo flies off to fuse with a certain someone. This person is Kami. He performs the fusion and can feel himself being invigorated with new power entirely. It's exhilarating to feel, but he is then met with a new sense of calmness and tranquility. He can then see down on the earth that Imperfect Cell has been activated. Goku spoke of another one of Dr. Gero's creations taking form shortly after the androids and flies right down there to see what's going on. He arrives ahead of Imperfect Cell and looks at the beast with confusion. "Just what are you supposed to be?" he asks, looking at its grotesque frame. "I am part you, Piccolo, part Goku, part Gohan, part Krillin. I am an amalgamation of the different fighters of this planet into one super being," he calls out proudly, standing regally. "So you're a super being, are you? Let's see how you fare against me then," Piccolo shouts back, powering up. After facing numerous Saiyans for years and years on end, Piccolo is not someone to joke around with. Even without Nail, he has surpassed that power that he had upon fusing with Nail and Cannon a long time ago. He has made up for that lost individual in years and years of sparring and training. He zooms ahead and lands a single punch onto Cell that launches him back. Cell looks furious and tries to land an attack of his own, only to receive a special beam cannon to his shoulder. Blood spurts out from the wound, then Piccolo speed blitzes him with his advance. Grabbing onto his extended arm, Piccolo viciously pulls it and manages to rip it off completely before chucking it to the side. "Not so much of a super being now, are you?" he says, towering over the fallen warrior. Cell holds the opening from his lost arm in pain and volumes of blood's released, but he doesn't look as concerned as he should be. Forcefully returning back to his feet, he turns around to stare down the Namekian as a totally new limb is grown out from the wound. "Did you forget that I have your healing too, Namekian?" Cell asks, before punching Piccolo in his face. He lands a few more attacks, but Piccolo takes them all without ending up injured at all. With the final punch it lands on his cheek, but his head isn't knocked away completely. He pushes at his knuckles and Cell looks aghast at his power. His fist is slowly forced back and Cell then cowers away. He sees that he won't be doing much here and decides to use his solar flare to try and escape. It works and Piccolo grabs his eyes in pain upon seeing the blinding lion. He then sees that his opponent is now nowhere to be found. From his sickbed in Bulma's Capsule Corp, Goku is practicing some of the abilities that he didn't give enough love as he grew older. Things like telepathy, telekinesis and mind reading that he didn't think about much once he started facing stronger foes with enough power to destroy stars and even galaxies. He lets a cup of water levitate up from the ground and he tries to communicate with his friends. At the Kame house, Gohan, Raditz, Piccolo and the humans are discussing their next course of action. They don't really know what's happening and feel quite uncertain about things after knowing that Goku has contracted a deadly virus. Hello everyone, it's Goku. The fighters all stand simultaneously, expecting to see Goku come out from somewhere. His voice sounded like it came from all directions, not a single point. Then they realise what is happening. Don't worry, I'm talking to you all telepathically. I would like to give you all some information on what to do next. The weird being that Piccolo fought is called Cell, and his goal is to absorb the other androids to achieve his perfect form. At all costs, you must try to prevent him from getting what he wants, and as I am talking, he will be on the loose looking for them. I recommend that Raditz and Gohan enter the hyperbolic time chamber, enter for a year, and for the rest of you, try to find the androids before Cell does. That is all I can help with for now. I wish you all the best of luck, Goku says, before his voice disappears. The Z Fighters follow his command and so begin filling their roles. Raditz and Gohan fly to Kami's lookout while the other Z Fighters soar across the Earth in search of Cell and the androids. Raditz and Gohan begin their tough training and start growing stronger quite quickly. Their Saiyan genetics feed off one another as they get Zenkai after Zenkai. After a long period of searching, Piccolo and Tien find the androids. They land ahead of the trio that have decided to lay low on a distant island. They aren't aware of Cell and how he wants to absorb them, but Goku is not around. Their job is to kill him, and if he isn't showing himself, they won't either. Goku said we have to stop Cell from absorbing these androids, but he never said that we couldn't just kill them ourselves, Piccolo declares, throwing off his weighted clothing. He reveals his burly physique and cracks his knuckles to prepare for this upcoming battle. 17, I challenge you to a rematch. You wouldn't take me down as easily as you did before, Piccolo declares, making his stance. Tien looks quite scared since he isn't as strong as the Namekian beside him, however his Neo Tri-Beam is his trump card that he can fall back on anytime. Piccolo pounces on his android target and the two warriors enter a tough wrestling match. They push at each other with everything they have, each trying to overpower the other. Their power is insane and they cause cracks to appear in the floor. Even though 17 is strong in his own right, it looks like Piccolo is taking the upper hand. He starts stepping forwards, overpowering the smaller fighter. He then shoves 17 away and kicks the android in the side of his head. Before 17 can properly react to anything, Piccolo grabs him by his waist. He lifts him slightly and ferociously slams him into the ground below. 17 shouts in pain, then Piccolo throws down a punch to add insult to injury. Piccolo then backs away and lets the android raise back up to his feet. 18 tries to attack Tien and wins him with the first punch. He cowers away and holds his stomach in agony before lifting his hands. He sees the severity of the situation and the strength of the person before him. If he doesn't act now, he'll be toast for sure. Tri-Beam, he roars out, releasing an energy wave right toward Android 18. The bright blast hits her and somehow causes serious damage. She is hauled back and slams into 18, who is stood up watching this all play out. You can see burns and scorched blood on her body while Tien looks weak because of his attack. He aims up and threatens to use his attack again. Back down or I'll take you out too, Tien explains, while his hands are intensely trembling. 16 looks hesitant and continues to back away along with 18. Piccolo and 17's battle is intense and 17 is getting destroyed. It's complete domination on Piccolo's side and this is partly due to the intensive training that he went through in the past. 17 is covered in his own blood and Piccolo is currently holding him by the neck. Perish, android, he shouts, clenching his hand tightly. He starts applying alarming amounts of pressure onto the android's neck, but before he can fully destroy it, he receives a sudden attack from beside him. This is from Imperfect Cell. I won't let you destroy my precious androids, he calls out, which weirds out Piccolo a little. Piccolo is still holding 17 and he then flings him into the air before Cell can get to him. He leaps up to try and retrieve the android, then Piccolo fires off a ki blast at the android that is currently flying in the air. Cell launches his own ki blast that hits Piccolo's before it can reach the android. Following this, he grabs 17 as he descends. He reveals his tail and performs the absorption, but an energy wave comes flying in out of nowhere. This is Tien's Tri-Beam. This hits Cell and makes him lose contact with Android 17, making him go flying away. Back away, you scoundrel, Tien shouts, with his arms extended. Thank you, Tien, Piccolo says with gratitude. No problem. However, Cell then teleports to 17 and begins his absorption. Goku has already showcased the instant transmission technique numerous times after even destroying the Red Ribbon Army. Therefore, Dr. Gero's little mechanical bee has seen Goku use this attack numerous times and has embedded this technique into Cell's very DNA. His transformation begins and there is nothing that they can do. Semi-Perfect Cell is born and the tides have turned greatly. Goku is now very sick with a weakening heartbeat and pale sweaty skin. He can sense this battle taking place and can tell that Cell has gotten much stronger. Bulma, I need someone to acquire the Dragon Balls for me, Goku weakly says, barely able to lift his arms. Of course, Bulma says, rushing away. At this point in time, Semi-Perfect Cell is born and the only people to act as resistance are Tien and Piccolo. Piccolo flies forward and punches this being. He might be stronger, but he isn't that much stronger. His first attack does practically nothing and he receives a hit from Cell's tail that nearly knocks him out. Cell pounces on him and punches him into the floor, which does take him out. Piccolo coughs blood before losing his consciousness and Tien looks on aghast at the scenes. Piccolo has been taken out just like that and there's basically nothing that he thinks he can do except to use all that he can to power his Tri-Beam. He launches repeated Neo Tri-Beams using the last of his life force to do so. He manages to keep Cell down and urges 16 and 18 to leave before they are hurt. 16 takes away a crippled 18 and Tien continues shooting his blasts, roaring in the process. After a few shots, he has created a massive rectangular hole in the ground. Cell reveals himself with minor to moderate injuries and he is more than ready to continue on fighting. The attacks angered him a lot more than actually hurt him. How? Tien asks before falling and losing consciousness. Before he fully collapses though, Raditz stops him from doing so. Gohan arrives beside Raditz, staring down Cell. Gohan and Raditz, it's truly wonderful to see you two, Cell says mockingly. Raditz hands him a senzu bean that he acquired on the way to this place, and Gohan lands just ahead of the hole in the ground to face Cell. Raditz has really taken the time to hone Gohan's skills, handing him all the knowledge that he has gained for him to fight as a Saiyan warrior. Gohan's rage is one thing that makes him have such potential for fighting in that way. Gohan begins shouting and powering up, searching for that power and anger deep inside him. As he thinks of all of the horrible things that Cell and the androids have done, it only invigorates him further. His fury is his fuel and he enters his Super Saiyan Grade 2 form. In this bulky form of his, he charges right at Cell and lands a punch to his gut that wins him completely. He then whips in a kick to his abdomen that cracks a rib and makes him cough blood. Cell cowers away and receives a punch to the face to force him further back. Gohan looks extremely angry and isn't willing to hold back with any of his upcoming attacks. Just like Goku had done, Goku and Raditz realise that grade 3 isn't sufficient to fight someone. The increase in power it gives the user hinders their speed, so Gohan continues on in this state. Cell tries to fight the Saiyan, but he is fighting defensively. He can't even really land attacks and Gohan's rage is only making him stronger as this bout continues. In just a few minutes of battle, Cell is gravely wounded and injured, looking for a way out. He turns around and flies away as fast as he can, only to hit into Gohan's chest. "You're going nowhere," Gohan states, before landing a knee to his stomach that nearly makes him regurgitate out Android 17. He coughs out alarming amounts of blood and spit, holding onto his stomach in utter agony. Gohan then angrily thrusts his fist into his body, piercing through his torso entirely. Blood drips down his hand, then he viciously rips it back out to leave a devastating wound in his body. He knows that this beam can heal from what Piccolo has said previously, and so he lifts his hands up to his head. "Super Masenko," he shouts, shooting out the new and improved attack. Cell is hit by it head on and his body is shredded apart in the blast. Even at the cellular level, he begins to get destroyed until there is nothing more of him left. Semi-perfect Cell is defeated and Gohan stands over the falling debris with an angry look. After seeing Piccolo in such a state, it made him furious, but he just can't shake the guilt that grows in his heart. In Cell was Android 17, an evil person but one that was manipulated by Dr. Gero. Who knows what he could have become if not for his unlucky experiences as a test subject of the mad scientist's work. This brings the Cell saga to an abrupt end. The Dragon Balls are gathered and Shenron allows a cure to be found for the heart virus for a wish. They administer it to Goku and he is healed almost instantly. His body still feels weak and tingly, but it's only going to get better for him from then on. 18 is also healed by Bulma and some of her vital components are rebuilt. Also, the self-destruction bomb is removed from both 16 and 18, while 16 remains as a security guard at Capsule Corp. Now what ensues are several years of peace. Gohan has taken a big step off training after killing 17. He feels like a monster for what he did and he also wants to put more time into his studies. Vegeta and Nappa start to get much closer to the crew and they start training with each other more frequently. They have no one else to answer to, but what remains is Frieza's empire. After searching, Frieza has located the wanted Saiyans Nappa and Vegeta. They come hurtling down to the planet in the masses, with Zarbon and Dodoria ready to fight if they are needed. The Saiyans are all chilling at the Kame house with the others for a barbecue. They have barbecues all over the place and are having a great time eating scrumptious meat along with other things. The Saiyans are devouring anything that they get and seem to have bottomless bellies. Vegeta digs into a massive piece of thigh from a cow before stopping. He raises and looks out of the Kame house to see several of Frieza's ships heading down to land. "Frieza's here," Vegeta says with a smile. Nappa and Raditz are the first to burst out of this room, then Goku and Piccolo follow suit shortly after. "Let's head over there then," Goku says, placing 2 fingers on his forehead. The other Saiyans touch him, then teleport over to meet the Emperor. Outside are several foot soldiers who make way for Frieza, who has Dodoria and Zarbon walking beside him. "Hello there, Saiyans. You must have felt at ease hiding away for so many years, but I didn't forget about you 3. Yes, the last Saiyan squadron. I think it's about time you answer for your crimes," Frieza says, advancing. "We answer to no one. We are Saiyans and I'm the prince of them all. You should be bowing by my feet," Vegeta roars, making the foot soldiers shocked. Many of them lift up weapons and make fighting stances while Frieza just laughs. "You are too arrogant, Vegeta. Dodoria, kill him," Frieza says. Dodoria slams a fist into his palm as he walks forward before flying ahead. He lands a punch to Vegeta's chest only to see his body not move. He continues with various more punches, but as he is landing these attacks, Vegeta is maintaining strong eye contact with Frieza. Stop toying around and kill him already, Frieza orders. Dodoria, now panting, nods. Yes lord, he says, flying forward again. Before he can attack him again, Vegeta steps forward and decapitates him with the side of his hand. His head goes rolling to the feet of Zarbon, who leaps over it and flies toward Vegeta in rage. He then shoots his hand forward and throws it through his entire torso. Blood now covers Vegeta's hand from his two fallen enemies, and he lets the body simply tumble to the side. I said what I said because of the power difference between you and I, Frieza. Now I am way stronger than you, and you must bow by my feet, Vegeta exclaims. Frieza, with a twitching eye, flies right over to him in his pod. I will allow you to take back what you said before you perish, he says, in a surprisingly polite tone. Vegeta chuckles before destroying his pod with a tap and punching Frieza through layers of his assembled army. He kills any soldier that he hits into, causing many of their bodies to collapse as he flies back. Vegeta then powers up into his Super Saiyan 2 form with an aura containing crackling lightning bolts. Frieza is furious and starts screaming. He lets out all his growing rage and enters his final form. He doesn't add any extra suppressions to his power and is already using 50% of it. The other soldiers around him watch in awe as they have never seen this version of Frieza before. They never even knew he had any special transformation. Vegeta just smirks upon seeing him, and this makes the Emperor even angrier. He begins with his death beams, but Vegeta swerves past every single one of them. Frieza is taking out many of his soldiers, but he doesn't care. All he wants to do is take out Vegeta at this point. He rushes in angrily and tries to attack Vegeta, who just punches him into the ground. He coughs blood and screams in pain before getting up and pleading for Vegeta to stop. Wait, I'm only using half my strength. Do you want to defeat me before I have shown my full strength? Where is your honor, Vegeta? Frieza asks. Goku is tired of Frieza's tricks as he's had enough of that in his past life. However, if Vegeta is stronger than even Cell by this point, he is confident that Frieza can do nothing to him. Frieza shouts and enters his buff final for him and his army. A massive explosion is given off and nothing remains but a scorched, barren wasteland. Because please tell me something you liked about this video or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.